been a minute since y'all have heard my voice. You know, I've just been busy, and I've also been procrastinating on making this video because I knew it was going to be a really big one. So, you know how it is. Y'all know me by now. But anyway, this is going to be a manga / shelf tour. A lot of these I haven't read, which is unfortunate. But there are some that I have read, and there are some that I got solely for the spine. Like, look at that. Look at how pretty those spines look. Out of context, this sounds crazy. But anyway, we're gonna get started. So the first thing we got is Alice in the Country of Hearts, Wonderful Wonder World. I got this book in middle school, I think, and it's basically Alice in Wonderland shojofied. Next up, we got Azumanga Daioh. This is another one that I got in middle school, maybe early high school, and this was one of my favorite series to read. If you're familiar with Yotsuba, this is by the same author, but let me get a less damaged copy for y'all. It's basically a slice of life about a group of girls. It's really funny, and it's only 4 volumes, easy to collect. Next up, we have Beyond the Clouds. Now this one, I actually read the first volume for it, and I'm like really behind on it. And to be honest with you, I don't know what the plot is, but the art in this series is so pretty. Like your typical manga style, but it has this nice watercolor style to it too, and it just makes it feel like you're reading a children's storybook. Alright, this next one is called Blue Lock. This is one of my favorite series right now. This is in the sports genre, but just know that those good sportsman's vibes is not going to be in here, and it's so good. Next up, we have Blue Period, and this one I wanted to like it so much because it's about an artist, and I'm an artist, so I thought I could relate to it. But the thing about it is, it being a manga, some of the scenes didn't hit because it wasn't in color. And as you can tell, it's called Blue Period, so there's an emphasis on blue. But if it's in black and white, how am I supposed to see what the artist is trying to convey if you don't see the colors the way that they would see it in the manga? And not gonna lie, it felt like I was back in school, and it was very text heavy as well. This next one is called Children of the Whales, and I'm gonna read a synopsis on Wikipedia because it will explain it way better than I ever could. The story focuses on a boy called Chikuro who lives on a giant vessel called a mud whale that drifts over the sea of sand. In the mud whale, society is divided into 2 kinds of people: the marked, who can move objects with their minds using a strange power called themia, at the expense of shortened lifespans, and the unmarked, people who lack themia but enjoy longer lifespans. Chikuro and his friends have never seen anyone from the outside world, and they spend their days yearning to explore and learn about it. In year 93 of the vessel's exile, the mud whale encounters a lonely island, and Chikuro finds a girl inside, starting an adventure that changes the lives of everyone. I read the first volume of the series, and I'm really enjoying it. The art is really nice, really detailed. The story kind of goes crazy towards the end of the volume, so I do recommend it. Swimming up, we got The Children of the Sea. I get it, because it's about the sea. And okay, anyway, I haven't read this one. The only reason why I got it was because I saw my brown skinned brother on the front. And here we have a fossil from my middle school days called Fall in Love Like a Comic. I really love this series too. It was only 2 volumes. The story is about this girl. She is a mangaka, and in order to write an authentic manga based on romance, she decides to go out with the popular guy in her school, and you already know how it turns out. If you know me, you know that I am obsessed with Fruits Basket. It is one of my favorite series of all time. Like, I love it so much. I have the original print when it first came out. I have all 23 volumes of it. I have bonus volumes. I have the collector's edition. The story is about this young girl named Toru who recently lost her mother. And I know what you're thinking. This kind of trope happens in every single manga series. But here's the thing. It actually matters. Like, it's actually important to the story. It's an actual plot point in the story. which is insane. Like, this story, it has so many tropes in it, but does it well. You know what I mean? So she lost her mom, and then she discovers this family that is under a terrible curse, and her goal is to break the curse. And let me tell you, this girl deserves the whole world. Like, the way her character was done was so well done. I just love her so much. I wish she had an Nendoroid. Why doesn't she have one? But Kyo and Yuki have one. But it's whatever. And here's Fruits Basket, another we don't talk about, another. Next we got Girl Got Game. This story, it's about this girl. She just wants to be a normal high school girl, and then her dad is just like, no, I want you to dress up as a boy so you can join the basketball team and I can live vicariously through you. It's so whack. Can you imagine your dad doing that to you? This is The Golden Sheep. I haven't read it because I heard it's really depressing and I'm not mentally prepared for that right now. Maybe later. Here we got The Golden Japanesque, a splendid Yokohama romance. This is actually a historical shojo, and it's a really interesting story. I really like it. I really enjoyed the first volume, and the art is so pretty. I also have a few volumes of Golden Kamui. My friend really hyped up this series, so I'm really excited to read it. I also have The Melancholy of Haruhi, I can't read that, and I got that one in high school. I didn't understand it then, don't understand it now. I really hope you guys are appreciating the amount of angles and B-roll footage that I got for y'all. If you don't, that's okay. But here we have Hakume and Mikochi. Now, this series, it reminds me of The Secret Life of Arrietty. Is that what it's called? And like a mix of Fern Gully, if you remember that movie. I love that movie so much. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about manga. I haven't read this one yet, but I know I'm gonna like it for the vibes. To be honest with you, the reason why I got Imakoi was because the two characters reminded me of Kyo and Toru Honda from Fruits Basket. But I did read the first volume. I liked it, but not for the reason that you think. I liked it because that girl is crazy. Like, you just have to read it. She be doing some out-of-pocket stuff, and it's hilarious. And I don't know if the author intends to do that, but I really hope it turns out that she's like some kind of yandere or something, because she's insane. Before you ask, yes, I did wait over an hour for it to rain so I could get this shot. But here we have After the Rain. I haven't read it, I'm sorry. Next up is Kilala Princess. I actually got a quick story about this one. My best friend from childhood, she had this series and she let me read the first volume, and I asked to read the other volumes and she wouldn't let me. Anyway, if you know the series Kingdom Hearts, this series is kind of like that, to which there is an OC that goes inside the Disney World trying to solve all their problems, and it's great. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I do collect the manga for it. I just love the series that much that I have to collect both the games and the manga. Will I get the novels? Probably not. I don't know how to read like that. And these are the original print for it. They're super old, super withered, and I don't know why, but for some reason when I collected manga in elementary school, I would draw inside of it. And why did no one stop me? This series, it's based on the video game, and the art for it is so cute. And honestly, there are some parts to it that are kind of better than the game itself, because it adds more character development to them. It answers some unanswered questions that were in the game. So I do recommend it. I recommend the game too. Here we have Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight. We're not even going to talk about it. Here we have Kitchen Princess. Despite it being like a shoujo, it actually talks about some pretty deep stuff that I'm not used to reading in shoujo, which is something I really like about it. I really like the protagonist as well. She's really nice and sweet, and she's actually pretty young too. She's 13 years old. Some tragic stuff happens in this manga, and I believe it also shares the recipes that she makes. But overall, it's a really cute story. The art is really nice, and I really love series about baking for some reason, because I find baking so nice and cozy and sweet overall. This series, I'm so excited to read it. I'm so sad I just haven't had the time. It's about this woman who I think is an android, and she's running a cafe in kind of a post-apocalyptic world, but it's cozy, no violence. It's just really a cozy read. Here we have Me and My Brothers, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this series is a little sus. It's about this girl whose parents died, of course, and years later, she discovers she has 4 older brothers that she never knew about, and they live together as a family. But for some reason, there are some moments where there's romance between them, and it's a little weird. I'm sorry that most of this video is, I got this manga because it looks nice, or I haven't read it but I'm excited to read it. It's just that I procrastinate a lot. You can relate to this. I know you have a bunch of stuff that you don't use. Here we have Pixie Pop, a series that I read when I was in middle school. I also have Shigochara, which is a magical girl thing, and it has a weird age gap that I'm not really comfortable with. And do I even need to talk about Spy Family? But in case you're just not on any social media, it's about this spy and assassin that adopt this girl that has telepathy powers. Speaking of another girl boss with powers, here we have Time Stranger Kyoko, and yes, there's a love triangle. To put it simply, this series is about this princess who is trying to wake up another princess who turns out to be her sister, who is in a comatose state. And she wants to wake her sister up, not because she cares about her, but because she needs someone to replace her to do her princessly duties. This is Tokyo Mew Mew a la mode. This is actually a prequel to Tokyo Mew Mew, a series that I never got to read because, again, my childhood best friend wouldn't let me read her volumes of hers. So years later, I went to get this one for myself. It's about a group of magical girls. I didn't read it. I'm sorry. This next one, called To Your Eternity, bro. This series, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just so good. It has such a unique premise to it. Like, I feel like this series is gonna be so deep, and I've only read the 1 volume, and I'm already like getting the sense that this is gonna be one of my top 5 series of all time. It's one of those things where I'm asking you to trust me to go read it. Read it online somewhere. Don't buy it yet. Just read it online somewhere for free. Okay, I know I just said it for the last one, but I'm gonna need you to trust me again when I say that you need to get this series too. Yotsuba, one of the funniest, coziest slice of life series out there. It's just an everyday slice of life kind of story. It was described as an eternal summer series, and that's the perfect way to describe it. This is another series that I also got in middle school, and it's about this shopkeeper that grants the wishes of people all over the world, but at a price. And it's a series of short stories. The series is only 1 volume though. I don't know if it's on hiatus or if it got canceled, but I really did enjoy this one because it was just really sweet, and all the characters learned some kind of valuable lesson, and they got their wish in a way they didn't expect. Up next, we have a series that I actually bought in this decade. You know, it is so hard to find a manga series that's for adults because it's always about high school. But this series is actually about adults that work in an office, and they're all nerds in some way. Like, one is a cosplayer, one loves playing video games, and it's just like, it's really funny, it's relatable, and if you're an adult like me, I totally recommend it because this is a great series. Next, we have Witch Hat Adelier. I wish I could tell you that I read it, but I haven't. I'm so sorry. But it's on my reading list, okay? I'm gonna read it soon. But what I can say about it is that my friend loves it, and I trust my friend's opinions. It has a really nice art style, kind of like a storybook style, and the way they use their panels is so beautiful, so unique. I've never seen it before in a manga. I do recommend it even though I haven't read it. Next up, we have a series whose title might as well be an essay. 12-point font, Times New Roman, double spaced, MLA format. This series, it's about this girl who lives kind of a horrible life and she gets transported into this magical world and she's trying to find a way out. The art is really beautiful. The story though is a bit fast paced, but so far I'm enjoying it. Here we have daily report about my witch senpai, and you've guessed it, I haven't read it, but my friend has and she recommends it. It's basically an office romance, which I appreciate because that means the characters are older and I can relate to them more. I really like the art style. It's so cute. It has great reviews. I don't know what to say about it. I haven't read it. What do you expect me to do? But I do look forward to reading it. Okay, are you ready for this one? I've actually read this series. Not only that, but I'm caught up. Okay, can we get an applause for that, please? So this is A Sign of Affection. This series is one of my favorites. It does have its flaws. It's a little bit too boy crazy. It's set in a college setting. However, I have not seen the protagonist study once. But this couple is goals, bro. Okay, let me actually talk about the series. So the main character is deaf. First of all, already got my attention. So she communicates with sign language, but it's going to be Japanese sign language, not American sign language for obvious reasons. She finds this guy, immediately falls in love with him because, you know, it's a shojo, so of course it's going to be really fast paced with the whole falling in love thing. However, their relationship with each other is so mature. I love that he's not a total creep. Actually, he's not a creep at all. I love the conversations they have. Let me just say, he's like one of the best romantic interests that I've ever seen because he's so different. He hits different, bro. He really does. And now we're going back to my roots, having some manga that I haven't read, but I've heard lots of good things about. But it's okay, it's fine, because this next series I've actually read and I'm almost finished reading, and I heard that it's gonna make me cry, so I'm kind of procrastinating on finishing it. But this one is called My Boy. This one is really interesting too, because it's definitely more adult. It's focusing on a woman who I believe is in her 30s. I'll just say the theme is kind of, can an adult have a friendly relationship with a child? And already you're thinking, whoa, where is this going? But trust me, it doesn't like go in that direction. Like there are some moments that I was like, But I definitely recommend this series. I don't want to say too much about it, but just trust me, you're gonna want to read it. Okay, you and I are friends, right? So I can tell you anything. I mostly got this because I really like the covers. Hey, I'm just being honest, okay? This is a safe space. I can be honest here. Even though I got it for the wrong reasons. I actually did get really invested in the series. I'm not quite finished though, because I know the ending's gonna make me sad. I have this thing about finishing books. I really like this. Had a lot of drama, which I enjoyed, but nothing like too tense. Next up, we have Look Back. This is actually a one-shot story that is focusing on this girl who I believe is in high school. She's a young artist trying to create her own comics, and she gets the help of someone who is a shut-in who does the backgrounds for her. The story is only one volume, and it mainly focuses on the relationship between those two girls. I do recommend giving it a read. It's pretty interesting. And finally, we have Skip and Loafer, which I gotta say, top 5 of my manga collection. This series, it focuses on a girl who moved from a small town to the big city in Japan, and she's just trying to fit into the city life, and she makes friends. She's very wholesome, very smart. She's a type A, let's be honest. But the series, it's so funny, it's so sweet, and the kids actually look like they're in high school. That's my favorite thing about it. Definitely check out this series. It's so good. It's so good. Could this be the end of this video? So that was my shelf slash manga collection tour. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm going to be working on a video of manga series that I recommend, and I'm also trying to get a desk tour video working. If you also collect manga or you read manga, comment down below your favorite series, your least favorite series that you wish existed. But that's going to be it for me. If you liked the video, please give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!